Hi, back again with another review video, and I was on vacation this past weekend, so that's why the video wasn't put up earlier, or that's why I didn't do a review earlier. I watched the episode last week Wednesday, and I had everything prepared to do a video the following day, but I was packing, getting ready to leave, and that's why it's being done today. So last week's episode was great. I liked it because, for one reason, we got a perfect match, which was Maria and Chamoy. And I'm just gonna go through the regular schmegular thing, go throughout the whole episode and say what I like, what I didn't like, as usual. So yeah, here we go. So the beginning of the episode started off with Bria doing what basically Bria just saying that she's completely finished with Zach, and I hope she sticks to it. I hope she doesn't fall back into Zach's games, and I just hope she goes on and she finds her perfect match. And after the fact, when Bria, I love how after the fact, when Bria said she was done, she was just doing her thing, going buck wild, didn't give a care in the world that Zach was there. And in one of his confessionals, he was like, "Oh, I'm jealous." I just thought that was super funny. Anyways, so yeah. And Samantha, I keep on liking her more and more. I think she's a really intelligent girl, and I think she's kind of figuring out, that Zach might not be her match. And I think she's, realizing what some of the girls in the house have already realized, that Zach might not be the best guy. Probably he'll change later on, but right now, no bueno. And Lewis is still like, I think that Lewis has a low-key crush on Sam. I think it's because he thinks she's out of his league, and he wants that. Like, he wants that girl that has everything put together. I don't think he wants drama. Not to say that Asia's drama, but I just think a lot of people are attracted to the person that doesn't like them. So, low-key, probably that's the reason why. At the beginning of the episode, I did not think that Marie and Chamoy would have been a match. I didn't think that. I just thought it was a lot of sexual tension that the two of them had, and that, I don't know, that was gonna fizzle out. They were gonna figure out that they weren't a match, and they were just gonna move on. So that's what I thought at the beginning of the episode. Maria, don't like use sex as like the determinant factor if a guy likes you or not. Some guys, are inexperienced, or they don't really want to have sex the first time they meet a girl. Some guys are just shy, so don't use that as a determining factor. If that's the guys that you dated in the past, they like you if they have sex with you, probably that was what guys were like. But Chamoy is different, and you came in the house to find something different, so just work with them. That's what I was thinking at the beginning. I thought it was so cute that Asia woke up in the morning and was cooking Lewis breakfast. And the audience knew, Lewis knew what he did with Kenya. So we all felt bad for her, that she was trying to put her best to show this guy that she really liked him, And I hate when she finds out what really happens. The way she finds out was through Tevin telling her, and she was just super upset about it, and anyone would be, because in Asia's head she thinks that Kenny is her friend, and she thinks that Lewis is her match, is her crush, and she thought that Kenya knew that. So I mean, yeah, in the beginning I thought that Kelly and Brett were a match. I really thought they were really compatible. Nothing would have broken them up. Later on in the episode, I was pretty surprised to see what would happen, but I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. I thought that Kenya and Asia had an actual friendship. I thought that was pretty genuine. It's pretty real, because Asia's a real girl. So I don't think the whatever she was doing, it was a front. I think she's a real girl, so she would want to have a real friendship. So I like that. I thought that Asia should have went to Lewis and Kenya about it, and talk to them about it before like walking around and telling everybody about it if they never knew or if they did know or whatever. So I just thought that was pretty odd. But at the same time, you can't really gauge how people react to certain things. You can't really control that. And she was hurt, so she reacted in the way she wanted to react. And that's understandable, to say the least. But I did like the fact that she did not pop off on Kenya, and Kenya did not pop off on her. Kenya came in a bit aggressive, but she dialed it back a little bit. And what could have turned into a fight was not a fight. They were able to hash it out and talk it out. I don't know if more conflict's gonna come later with this love triangle, Lewis, Kenya, Tevin. I mean Lewis, Kenya, Asia, but I mean we'll wait to see. Honestly, I hope there's no more. I hope Kenny and Tevin are a match. I just hope that, for everybody's sake, and she's not nobody else's match. I loved the fact that Maria and Shamoy were chosen to go on the date with the horses. Like, they obviously were the persons that were put into the truth booth, of course, because they had the most solid relationship. And other funny things, Lauren, who was saying that she was top notch at riding horses but fell off. I found that so funny. But I also thought it was super cute how Lewis just ran to her side and tried to help her out, even though he couldn't keep up on his horse either. So all of that was funny. People were saying on Twitter how good Asia and Tevin got along and that they could be a potential match. And I didn't think about it until they started to talk right then and there at, when they were talking together about the situation. And I was just looking at them like, they are super close and they're like genuine friends. And Are You the One has a tendency of matching best friends up together. So just because they're so compatible, but you just see them as your best friend, there's no sexual attraction, but hey, if they're a match, that brings them closer to winning money. But it might take them a while to figure out if Asia and Tevin are a match, because Kenya's got her teeth sunk so deep into Tevin that I don't think that Asia can go there. Plus, there's already been tension with Kenya and Asia, so I'm curious to see how all of that plays out in the future. I just love how in love Maria is with Shamoy. Like, she looks at him like every girl looks at her boyfriend, like completely taken aback and just completely in love with Shamoy. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. I want the challenges to come back, but I'm low-key liking the fate button. Low-key. I mean, it's growing on me. I didn't like it at first, but it's starting to grow on me a little bit more than it did in the beginning of the whole season. Are You the One? Just a little tidbit here. Show more of Mo. The girls need to see more Mo. Mo is super attractive. And why hasn't anybody in the house tried to talk to Mo? I know he's quiet and a little bit reserved, but girls, come on, he's fine. He seems quiet and just humble. Come on, somebody needs to talk to Mo. Like, the next episode, I need to see somebody talking to Mo, please. Not just for his good looks. He just looks like a cool guy. I mean, he looks nice, plus he looks like he'd be a good catch, a good person to talk to. So, hey, why not? I didn't think this would have been a match, but Daniel and Sam, they seemed like he actually took her out on a little mini date, and I thought that was so cute. Like, he actually put in effort and tried to take Sam away from everything, and actually talk to her and get to know her more. And that kiss, let me tell y'all, that kiss, I felt it through the TV when I was watching the episode. The kiss reached me. I felt like Daniel was kissing me. I could have felt the passion in the kiss. So, and you see a different side of Dan. I like that. I like that you're seeing different sides of people, so that was pretty good. The same thing with Shamoy and Maria. Their kiss, my God, I felt it. You could feel it in your chest when they kissed. You could feel that they were a perfect match, and I felt it. And when they went to the truth booth and it was confirmed that they were a perfect match, I screamed so loud in my chair. My husband jumped beside me. I screamed. Like, I was so excited. I did not expect them to have a perfect match so early. And I wanted them to be a match, but you know, you just don't want to keep your hopes up. I was so happy that they were a match. Like, so happy. But I said before that, you know, if Shamoy wasn't Maria's match, it would have knocked one guy down and they would find out more information. You know, 2 guys would be knocked off of Maria's potential list. But whatever, forget that. They're a match and we can move on. Oh my god, the whole meltdown with Callie and Zach and Brett. I did not expect that from Brett. Like, I didn't expect him to pop off like that, even if he was drunk. Like, I don't know, he just didn't seem like the type of guy that would have popped off. And the fact that Callie kept calling him Zach, I was just like, okay, Callie, Brett, y'all both drunk, y'all both need to take a nap. Like, just go to sleep. Like, forget the night even happened. Just don't even talk to each other. It almost seemed like Brett was a female Bria, the way he was like going after Zach and like trying to cuss him out for just talking to Callie. And all that Zach said was like, you seem like a really cool friend. That's all he said to her, like literally. It wasn't nothing like, oh, I'm trying to kiss you or whatever. He didn't do anything like that, so. And the whole thing with Lewis and Kenya not thinking they were wrong for what they did, it just got me. Because Kenya, if you knew that Asia liked Lewis and you went and did what you did in the boom boom room, it was wrong. And Lewis, if you knew that that Asia liked you and you were and Asia was trying to build a connection with you and you didn't tell her about what happened, it's wrong. Like, y'all need to understand that y'all stepping on people's feelings now. The attitudes that you had out of the house, you have to try to shed them. And it's coming to light because you're butting heads with other people that don't do things the way you do, that have feelings, that have, not to say that you guys don't, but the way they feel things is much deeper and on a deeper level, and you have to be empathetic of that. And I just felt like Kenya and Lewis did not want to be empathetic of Asia. They just didn't understand why she was mad. And if Asia did not say anything to either of them, that she didn't tell Lewis that he liked her, like that she liked him, and if she didn't tell Kenya that she liked Lewis, that's different, you know. That's the game, and Kenya gotta play the game. But Kenya wasn't really playing the game when she did what she did to Lewis. She was trying to make Tevin jealous. So it's a bit, that situation, I just hope they don't go back and forth with that. I hope Asia gets to explore her relationship with Lewis more, and whatever comes out of it, I hope it's positive. So yeah. When Sam was talking about, you know, she wanted her guy to be a certain type of guy, and that was a certain type of guy that she looked for outside of the house. Like, guys, it's time to try something new. It's time to branch out. It's time to be different, you know. I know you guys are used to a certain type of guy, you know, from like before the house, but take chances. You know, probably this is the relationship that's gonna make you feel, you know, the best love you've ever felt. So you gotta take a chance on these guys, and guys, you gotta take a chance on the girls. You probably have your preconceived thoughts and what you wanted and what you thought you wanted, but somebody can come along and turn that on its head. So you just have to play the game. That's what I say. Just play the game. The scene at the end with Callie and Brett was a lot of girls. What a lot of girls need to do. You need to put your foot down and say, I will not accept this. The way you handled the situation when you were drunk, I can't trust you after that, and I just don't want anything to do with you. And Brett is the guy that's saying, really, I still want to be with you. I still want a second chance. But Callie was trying so hard to put her foot down and say, there's no relationship here. There's nothing here to be continued with us. But Brett was still trying to fight for her. So I understand Callie's side. She's trying to put her foot down. Probably she's trying to change. But she did say, the way she is, when she sees something she doesn't like, she just skedaddles, and she doesn't give it any time to build up or to let anybody hurt her. But Brett is the type of person to fight, so I don't know how that's gonna work out. They still chose each other for their matchup ceremony, but I don't know how that's gonna work out. They got 3 beams again for this matchup ceremony, and that means they just had 2 other potential matches. And I don't know, like, I felt like they were going backwards, but at the same time I felt like the matches made that night were okay. Like, I didn't feel like the matches they made were that bad to not get, you know, another beam. So I still think Kayla and Cam might be a match, and I still think Kenny and Tevin might be a match. To be honest, that's what I think are the other 2 matches. I thought that Callie and Britt were a match, but I think they might be too volatile. And I don't know if Asia and Lewis and Sam and Daniel are a match. You know, those are some other things that, I don't know, we just have to wait and see. And I saw the previews for the episode that's coming up, that they're bringing the exes back, and I just think that's so tired, to be honest. That's my opinion. I think bringing exes back is lame, but I'm excited as usual to watch the next episode. And this episode was good for me because we finally got a perfect match, so I can't wait for the other one. And that's my review this week. So yeah, that's it.